It's a quiet paradox, a whisper in the dark that society tries to drown out with noise. It's the moment you get everything you ever wanted and feel nothing. The moment you stand on the podium holding the trophy and you realize the victory is as hollow as the applause. The moment you look at the life you've spent years building, a life that looks perfect in pictures and on paper, and a cold, chilling question echoes in your mind: is this it? That question is the first crack in the facade. It's the unsettling truth that whispers to you from the shadows of your own life, and it leads to a truly terrifying revelation. Why the more you want success, the less you get it. For a long time, we've been told a lie, an elegant, powerful, beautiful lie. It's the story of the race, the scoreboard, the finish line. We're taught to run, to sprint, to sacrifice, to keep our heads down and push forward because one day we'll finally arrive. One day we'll finally get to rest, to exhale, to feel a sense of peace that is earned through pure, unadulterated striving. This is the promise that runs through our schools, our boardrooms, our television screens. It's the promise whispered to us by the very architecture of our modern world. But nobody tells you the brutal fundamental truth of the game. The finish line keeps moving. It was never meant to be won. And your exhaustion, that overwhelming, soul deep fatigue you feel every single day, isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's proof that the game is working exactly as it was designed to. You see, society doesn't run on contentment, it runs on motion. It's built on a system that rewards momentum over meaning, productivity over purpose. The faster you go, the more you're praised, and the more you forget what you were running towards in the first place. You start living on autopilot, chasing goals you didn't choose for reasons you can't quite name. And the ladder you're climbing is leaning on a wall that leads absolutely nowhere. This is the real hidden tragedy of our time. We've been conditioned to chase an image of a life, not a life itself. We spend years building identities based on external expectations, carefully curated for public consumption. We learn to wear the right masks, to say the right things, to act the right way. And somewhere along the way, we forget what our actual face looks like. We forget what it feels like to simply be without the pressure of a performance. And it's this relentless, exhausting performance that keeps us running in circles. So I invite you to join us, to pull back the curtain and explore this unsettling truth, to look at the system that's designed to keep you on a treadmill and to ask the most profound question of all: what if the entire game is wrong? And for the brave ones among you who are ready to explore the deeper mysteries of our existence, subscribe to the channel and follow along for more revelations. Because what you are about to discover will change everything. You see, this isn't a new problem. It's an ancient, timeless curse. It's a flaw in our very design. We are built to reach, to grasp, to desire. It's what drives us, but it's also the very engine of our suffering. Consider the story of King Midas from the old legends, a king who desired one thing above all: more. More wealth, more power. He was granted a wish by the gods to have everything he touched turn to gold. It was the ultimate, exaggerated, fantastical version of success as we define it today. Everything he desired, he got. His food, his drink, even his own daughter, all turned to lifeless gold. He had everything he thought he wanted, and in gaining it, he lost everything that truly mattered. His very touch, once a source of comfort and love, became a weapon of cold, cruel isolation. He had all the gold in the world, and he starved. This is the oldest story of them all. I have a haunting warning about the very nature of desire. The moment you reach for one thing, your hand is already grasping for the next. It's a relentless, quiet, endless chase. It's not about greed, it's about the very nature of the mind. The moment one craving is satisfied, another appears. And so we chase. Not because we are weak, but because we have been told that this chase, this endless striving, is how we grow. That to be ambitious is to be truly alive. But what if the opposite is true? What if desire doesn't elevate us, but enslaves us? Modern life is built on this very lie. Entire economies depend on your dissatisfaction. Your discontent isn't a glitch in the system, it's the fuel for the system. Every product, every platform, every measure of success is designed to whisper the same thing into the deepest parts of your mind. You're almost there, just a little bit more. And so you postpone your peace. You delay your presence. You tell yourself you'll rest later after the next thing is achieved. but later never comes. Desire keeps you anchored in a future that never arrives. It pulls your attention away from where you are and convinces you that fulfillment is always just one step ahead. And the more you believe that, the less you're able to inhabit the only place life ever really happens: here. This is the great, terrifying truth that the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer understood better than most. He saw desire as the very engine of human suffering. It's a treadmill from which there is no escape, unless you choose to step off. But that choice, that moment of clarity, is the most dangerous thing you can do to a system built on your restless motion. Because the moment you stop running, the system trembles. If this feels familiar, if you've ever felt this haunting sense of emptiness, share your story in the comments below. Let us know what that moment was like when you reached a goal and felt nothing. Your experience could be the light that guides someone else out of the dark. And for those of you brave enough to confront this unsettling truth, make sure you're subscribed for our next video where we reveal what real success truly looks like. It's not what you think. And so we arrive at the heart of the matter. After all the running, all the climbing, all the endless striving, you realize something profoundly simple and terrifying. You're just tired, not just in body, but in soul. Tired of the roles, tired of the masks, tired of chasing goals that never truly belong to you, tired of standing on a stage that only applauds you when you play a character and turns silent the moment you show your real face. And in that exhaustion, a new clarity begins to emerge, not through effort, but through surrender, not through pushing harder, but through letting go. You start to sense that no matter how much you achieve, something essential is still missing. That the ladder you've been climbing doesn't lead to freedom, but to a more elaborate kind of prison. And the question that once terrified you, the question you avoided by staying busy, suddenly becomes impossible to ignore. What if the entire game is wrong? Schopenhauer didn't tell us to reject life. He told us to reject the illusion that fulfillment is something you can conquer, claim, or collect. The belief that your worth is tied to your output, that your identity must be proven through performance, that if you don't contribute in measurable ways, you don't matter. This belief is so deeply ingrained that we begin to police ourselves. We feel guilty for resting, anxious when we aren't productive. We no longer need anyone to push us. The system is now inside us. And the cruelest irony of all, the more successful you become within the system, the harder it becomes to leave. The rewards increase, but so does the dependency. You build a life on top of expectations you didn't design, and now you can't move without shaking the whole thing. That is not freedom. That is captivity dressed as achievement. But there is another way, a different kind of success, one that doesn't require recognition, trophies, or followers. It's a success that is quieter. It doesn't look impressive from the outside, but it feels right on the inside. It's the success of self-respect, of inner alignment, of waking up each morning and knowing you're living a life that is true, not just one that looks good in pictures. This is the kind of success no one can give you and no one can take away. It's invisible to the crowd, but you feel it in the silence, when you know you didn't betray yourself just to fit in, when you spoke the hard truth, even if your voice shook, when you stayed grounded in your values, even when it cost you something. That's real strength. That's real success. So maybe the true measure of success isn't how high you've climbed, but how honestly you live, how deeply you feel, how fully you return to yourself again and again. Because the greatest victory isn't being more than others. It's being wholly, deeply, unapologetically yourself. And when that happens, there are no more roles left to play, just life lived in truth. And finally, fully yours.